yourself in your mind in your body is the biggest asset that you have in resistance and in nurturing your resilience, and leaning into that, right? We are multifaceted people. We have hobbies, we have interests, we have families, we have an education, we have friends, we are just human beings. We're people. But when we allow ourselves to live full lives in whatever capacity we're able to, that is when we unleash our full potential. That is when we tap into our self-empowerment, into building confidence for ourselves, and living our lives on our own terms.
Hey guys, it's me, Aria Brooks, founder of Cool Trans Girl, and in case you are new here, I essentially create the content I wish I had access to earlier in my transition, revolving around health, wellness, and spirituality from the perspective of a trans woman. Yay! But before we get into today's topic and our special guest, I do want to let you guys know that I have a free ebook for you guys. If you're looking to be a little bit more productive, it is called the Diva Daily Goal Systems. It is a simple 4-step framework to help you be a little bit more productive and help you feel like a fucking diva. So if that's something that interests you, that'll be linked below. And then, yeah, without further ado, I do want to present today's special guest. Okay, hi everyone, this is Editing Aria. I just want to jump in for a second because my original intro for this episode honestly was not giving, and you and Jupiter both deserve better. But anyways, in today's episode, I sit down with Jupiter Peraza, who's done incredible work as a trans advocate, policymaker, and community organizer, and she actually founded Transgender History Month in San Francisco. Also, this episode is a little denser than usual. It's more policy, more context, but it's also just a key. We talk about Jupiter's journey as a trans immigrant, what it was like transitioning during COVID, the rise in anti-trans legislation, mental health tips, and then also how to keep faith in community when the world feels heavy. So I know it's a lot. You may need to take breaks, but in the meantime, grab a coffee, settle in. It's an important episode, and I do try to keep it hopeful for you guys, especially in this trying time. But anyways, without further ado, let's jump into Jupiter's story.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Jupiter Peraza. My pronouns are she, her. I am a San Franciscan visiting New York City. I love visiting New York during the summertime. It's hot. It's humid. It's muggy.
You're talking about my living room right now.
Oh. No, I love it.
No, it's a girl. It's still fall, but it's nasty outside right now. Oh my gosh.
No,
okay.
I love that. For all the girlies from San Francisco, our summers are cold.
Really?
Cold, yes.
Well, I'm from Seattle originally.
So
and
you're used to that?
Yeah, I'm used to that. And I feel like people compare San Francisco to Seattle
very much
a lot.
so.
But how'd you end up settling in San Francisco?
Well, I moved to San Francisco 10 years ago. Okay. I hit my 10-year anniversary last month in August.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I moved to San Francisco when I was 18 years old. I moved there for college. I grew up in LA. But I am originally Mexican. I was born in Mexico, and I moved to the U.S. when I was 8 years old with my parents, and I grew up in L.A., and when I turned 18, I went to San Francisco State University, where I graduated with an international relations degree and a minor in political science.
She's smart, y'all.
So you know what? I was learning, I was hitting the books, and all that to say that having a political education was really helpful for me because I'm an immigrant. At that time, when I got into my degree, I originally started college as a drama major, theater.
She was a drama queen.
She was a drama queen. I grew up watching Mexican soap operas with my mom, telenovelas. So when I was growing up, I was like, I want to be an actress. I want to.
I mean, you're giving red carpet right now.
Thank you. Just hitting my marks.
Right.
But anyway, I changed my major from theater to psychology, because I realized that theater did not pay the bills, and I needed
Rags.
to pay the bills. I did not have access to FAFSA because I'm an immigrant. So I needed money. So I changed my major to psychology, but I took one semester of psychology. And what really did it for me to move out of psychology after one semester is when we got to the lesson of what makes people vote the way they do. How do they form political ideologies? Is it their upbringing, their parents, religion, da 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 da? So when that happened, I just became so interested in politics and wanting to learn more about, my political education. At that time, I really needed an outlet because it was 2016, 2017. So a lot was going on in the country.
Right. First round of trauma.
First round of trauma. And I wanted to I wanted to learn. I wanted to be prepared. I wanted to know that if anything happened to me, I knew how to defend myself. I knew how to stand up for my rights. I knew how to connect with other people that had the same life experience that I did.
Right.
So I just wanted to learn and to have a political education because I didn't want fear to consume me.
Right.
Because I was very scared. I didn't know what to do, what was going to be of my life, of my future. So a lot of my preparation and my involvement in politics and community organizing came from the need to just be prepared and be informed and be aware. And then when I graduated college, I loved San Francisco so much that I didn't want to leave anymore. And then one thing led to another. And at the beginning of 2019, I realized that I was transgender. Oh, can I say that word?
She got a divine download.
No, right. It just came to me in a dream, like, ooh, you know
Marsha
what?
P. Johnson.
Literally, Marsha P. Johnson
floated over your bed.
yeah. And she, like, with a little wand, she was like, you
literally
are baptized.
She said, you better go pick up those size 10 shoes right fucking now, girl. I don't know. You actually have very dainty.
Oh my God. Feet. Thank you so much.
They're very cute. Also, that was crazy. Don't know what that was.
Is that a ghost?
I guess so. It's the ghost of Marsha P. Johnson.
Marsha P. Johnson!
Anyways, we're so sorry. Thank you, Mother. We love you.
Marsha Pay no job.
So you had your divine download, your awakening.
My awakening, and in 2019 is when I started to medically transition. I started medically transitioned literally like 8 months before the pandemic.
Okay.
So transitioning during the pandemic, like the gist of it, was so isolating.
For sure.
Yeah, I didn't have access to community. We were all, locked in.
Right.
Couldn't, go outside. So for me, it was so hard to not have access to community, to connect with other people that, having community is a lifeline for many people.
For sure.
And not having that at the beginning of my transition was very hard. It was very challenging. But I was lucky that I was able to find my way and to find other people in San Francisco that were trans, a lot of trans immigrants as well, which I am. And that was great. And it was awesome. And I loved it. And, the beginning of my transition was such a special time for me.
Right.
I really got to enjoy the start of my transformation, and every single day was something new. It was beautiful. My internal world was changing. The way that I perceived the world was changing because I was beginning to affirm myself.
Right.
And a lot of other trans people understand that journey is so beautiful and it's special and it's meaningful. And I did not let anyone tell me otherwise. I did not let anyone else's opinions or ideas about trans people or transness get in the way of my own personal journey because I wanted to define it for myself.
Absolutely.
So I was very lucky to be able to do that. And, I got more involved in San Francisco.
Before we get into that, I do want to touch a little bit on, going through your transition, during the panoramic or whatever. Because I also, started transitioning during the pandemic as well. And I mean, the only community that I had access to was I guess social media, but I had never really met another trans person. I think it's funny because it's like, okay, like cis hetero people, they like either got like knocked up or they had like COVID relationships or whatever. Right. And then like we just like cracked our eggs and became like women like during our transition. But you know, the early stages of transition are like so sacred and so beautiful. It's like a baby bird like trying to learn how to fly, and or like a baby walking for the first time, and you have all of these like sacred little special like day 28 of being a girl, you know, and figuring out like what works for you. But you don't even like, once you like find community, I feel like you don't even realize like how like you feel lonely in it a little bit. But I think like once you like connect with your community, or as more time goes on, you're like, oh shit, this is like what I've been missing for so long. So what was the transition out of the pandemic, and how were you able to like connect with community?
Right. You know, I definitely, I'm grateful and blessed that I was able to transition and to still live as as a trans person in San Francisco. San Francisco has given me so much, and I truly love it. It's become my home, but it's also become my home because I've met so many wonderful trans people there.
Right.
The trans community is so dynamic and so vibrant and so powerful, and to be in spaces with other trans people that just have just incredible thought leadership, so much resilience, creativity, joy, humor. It was so special for me.
Right.
And coming out of the pandemic, or when we were able to now go outside and to be, you know, indoors with other people, that's sort of like where I began to explore and to, you know, to learn and to connect with others. And it was such a fulfilling experience, and I loved it. And it was so special that I finally had other people to say, oh girl, when did you transition?
Right.
What is your hormone, what is your HRT cocktail like?
What do you mean? I just fell out of a tree.
As many people think that trans people just fell out of the sky when Laverne Cox appeared on the cover of Time magazine in 2014. That was literally the start of transness as we know it.
Right, exactly. Or Caitlyn Jenner on Elle.
Yeah.
That fucking bitch. Or was it Cosmo?
It was Vanity Fair.
It was Vanity
Yeah. The way that I know.
You're like, I actually have it framed above my bed.
No.
Just kidding.
I mean, I was gagged when that first happened, and I feel,
me too.
Yeah, and I was a high schooler at that time, so not even the glimmer of an idea in my mind that I was trans, but I was so like enchanted.
Right. She like overnight expedited that pussy, bitch. Literally. She had that pussy delivered on DHL.
Yes. What was I saying?
People are talking about, what month are you on,
Oh,
girl?
yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how I met other friends that, you know, we were like, what are you doing? What are you taking?
Right.
Da-da-da-da-da. And that's how I met my friend Aishani.
Yes.
Aishani was the guest that was...
the last episode of Cool Trans Girl.
Yes.
And Jupiter's actually here because Avid Society had their first launch event here in New York City, and it was fucking amazing.
Sickening.
We sold 50 tickets for the event.
Yes.
It was just so sacred and beautiful.
Absolutely.
And like everybody looked fierce as fuck. Again, if you're interested in joining Avid Society, I will link that information down below as well. And if you're
Please do.
And if you're also interested in opening a chapter in your city or figuring out other ways to contribute to Avid Society, please let me know, because this is an alumni network that we're expanding.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you met Aishani.
That's how I met Aishani. We actually met through a mutual friend who was also trans. Shout out to Bryce. Hey, girl. And I met Aishani. She was going to school in Berkeley. I was in San Francisco, which is just right across the pond, right across the lake.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
No, for real. I could swim there. And, but anyway, that's how I met Aishani. We are both the same age, and she's also an immigrant from India. And we just immediately clicked and we connected. And her and I had started our transition around the same time as well. She was like a couple months ahead of me, but we were sort of, we were going through changes together, right? Like, oh girl, did you feel like da 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 da? Oh, I'm like starting to feel something, to see something happening.
Are your nipples tingling too?
Right. Like, are they sensitive?
Yeah, literally. Oh
Do they
my
hurt?
God.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
So me and her, we literally just became like twins. She was like my sister, and we were going through a transition together because transitioning can be so isolating.
Oh, for sure.
And on top of that, what's happening right now, I can't even imagine to all the baby trans who are just realizing that they're trans and they're embarking on this journey while we're experiencing such,
Volatility.
just higher rates of isolation and loneliness. So with her, we were each other's accountability partners, right? And hey, have you talked to your endocrinologist? What's going on?
Are you getting on that list for your surgery?
Absolutely.
Because you said you wanted it.
Absolutely.
And these wait lists are long, girl.
Absolutely. And we had the same endocrinologist. So we sort of like, we knew our doctors. We had, great relationships with my doctors. And we also held each other accountable for, hey, have you scheduled your surgery? When do you want to get it? Da 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 da. Have you heard of Lupron? You should get on Lupron. Lupron, actually, Aishani put me on Lupron, which is sort of like an injectionable T blocker.
Ooh.
So instead of taking T blockers every single day, Spyro gave me it gave me brain fog. I couldn't think.
Oh, I hate Spyro, but I'll be taking Spyro. I'm like, girl.
Honestly, I don't blame you, girl.
Yeah.
It's too much. And it just made me, I was moody. My brain fog. I was tired. I was like, oh, Spyro, I can't do it.
And you were peeing all the time on top of it.
All the time, okay? So Aishani was like, oh, you should get on Lupron, da 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 da. And anyway, that's just an example of like how we helped each other. Sisterhood. Come on. And she was also the one that also helped me advocate for myself to, my doctors, and advocate for what we needed from our doctors and the medical system, of when we wanted our surgeries, a specific date, da 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 da. So it was really great. And yeah, when she got her bottom surgery, I slept there overnight. And when I also got my bottom surgery, she also came and like spent time with me. So it was such a beautiful relationship. And I hope that other trans people are able to have that.
Right.
To have another
a soul sister,
a trans sibling that can really hold your hand as you're going through such a vulnerable period of such transformation. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for San Francisco that was able to give me that. So, going back to San Francisco, I consider it my home, such a special place. It's also a destination hub for so many trans people from across the country, across the world. And it's been great.
Were you saying like San Francisco has the most trans people like in the world, or the densest population of trans people in the world?
Yeah. After I transitioned and I was, a few years into my transition, I started working for the Transgender District. The Transgender District is one of many cultural districts in San Francisco, along with the Castro LGBT Cultural District and the Calle 24, which is the Latino district in San Francisco, and so many others. But the Transgender District is the world's only transgender cultural district for trans people.
Wow.
And it's based in the Tenderloin neighborhood in the San Francisco peninsula. And in the Tenderloin, the Tenderloin is the area with the most dense population of trans people in the world. If I'm correct, and that's sort of where the Compton, that is where the transgender district is, and the reason why it is the transgender district is because in August of 1966, the Compton's Cafeteria riot happened, which is sort of San Francisco's equivalent of the Stonewall Inn riots. But it happened in San Francisco, and it was sort of like, this very critical moment in which trans and queer people stood up to police brutality. And it just sort of, manifested in this riot happening. And also, many things changed in San Francisco. At that time, as a result of the city witnessing trans people and queer people coming together to fight back against stigma, discrimination, and violence, and actually taking a stand and saying, you will no longer treat us this way.
Because you would go to jail for cross-dressing.
Absolutely. There were really awful cross-dressing laws in San Francisco at the time. And because of the Compton's Cafeteria riot, that changed.
Yeah.
So thank you to our ancestors who threw a coffee saucer. It was like, you would not. But yeah, so working for the transgender district was such a great experience because I got to meet other people, other trans people, incredible trans leaders, trans thought leadership. It was actually where I learned how to get more involved in writing policy and learning about how to write policy at the local level specifically. And it's where I authored Transgender History Month,
Right.
Which is in August because of the Compton's Cafeteria riot of 1966. We didn't know exactly what day in August it happened because of so much speculation and just like the media trying to cover that such a critical event happened, specifically involving queer and trans people, that it's very hard to sort of like nail down on a specific date. So when I was writing this piece of legislation, I was like, you know what? Because there is no record of it, and because there was a concerted effort to erase it, we're going to dedicate the whole month.
Period.
Okay.
Isn't Marsha P. Johnson's birthday in August as well?
Yes, Marsha P. Johnson's birthday is in August. Actually, the day that we went to City Hall to sign it was August 24th, which would have been Marsha P. Johnson's, I think, 76th birthday.
Wow.
When they scheduled that day to go sign Transgender History Month into law in 2021, we didn't know that that was Marsha P. Johnson's birthday.
Wow.
So when we were walking to City Hall, we were just like, scrolling through Instagram, whatever, and they were like, oh, today's Marsha P. Johnson's birthday. And I was like, oh my God.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. So I thought that it was sort of like.
That was Marsha P. Johnson's goal.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just felt like it was a sign from the universe, from our trans ancestor, that this was supposed to happen and that it was meant to be, and that we were also, making history and doing the right thing.
Well, I just got I low-key got chills when you were talking about, and I feel like right now more than ever, to have the strength of our ancestors behind us to get us through this time right now. And I kind of want to touch on the current movement, the current state of the world right now, specifically just because the Them article came out a week ago or so, to catch you guys up to speed in case you're not in the fucking loop, but more than likely you're in the fucking loop. You're in the loop. Yeah. But basically it was said, there was two people that said that the Heritage Foundation was essentially going to categorize all transgender people as nihilistic, violent, extremists. They're essentially trying to take us back into this time where it's illegal to be visibly trans, and people will pretty much have to go back to being stealth or potentially flee the country. And I do want to get into a little bit about activism, but before we get into that, I do just want to give you guys a message of hope that the most hateful people are the loudest. Yeah. And I know that things are moving backwards pretty quickly, but that is because this administration is trying to grapple on to power very, very quickly.
Right.
And the public approval rate is literally in the pits of hell.
Yeah, literally.
Most people do not like this president and do not agree with a vast majority of the things that are happening right now. He's in poor health. And the fight isn't over, and everybody's starting to wake up right now. And I also want to say that, like, I think with these midterm elections right now, 2026, that's really going to be like a decisive point of if we continue to go down that rabbit hole. But there's still a pretty high chance to save our democracy.
Or whatever's left of it.
Whatever's left of it. And I think that right now we just need to all come together and be like, we don't want fascism.
Yeah.
But we have, like, the trans community is the strongest it's ever been right now.
Absolutely.
And that's why there's so much opposition to us.
Absolutely.
But we're in community.
We are in community. And
we're on social media.
Absolutely.
We're having conversations like this.
Absolutely. And we exist. You know, we have a right to exist. We belong. And there's a concerted effort from this administration to let us know that trans people do not belong.
Right.
That trans people do not have a right to belong. And that is false. We do have a right to belong. We do exist. We have existed for since the dawn of time.
Fully that.
Okay? And we will continue to exist. And this is also a distraction. It's a distraction from the real issues that are really affecting people right now, right?
Inflation.
Absolutely.
The AI revolution.
Yes. They're trying
an economy that's crashing, girl.
Absolutely. They're trying to create a culture war and to place trans people at the center of it, when in reality, you know, we should be paying attention to the class war, to, you know, the wealthy against the poor, and how people are struggling to keep their housing, to put food on the table, to secure their jobs, their employment, to have access to good education. Those are the real issues that people are worried about.
And people are waking up right now too.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of like diehard MAGA people that are coming on Instagram and TikTok and are being like, whoa, this isn't what I signed up for and whatever. Maybe they don't support trans people, but I think also like we need to reframe trans rights as like, this is our first amendment of like freedom of expression. So if you can remove freedom of expression and freedom of speech from one group of people,
absolutely,
then they're going to try to take it away from like everybody. So I think that
absolutely,
if we can frame our, I guess, I don't want to say struggle, but like that's what the issue is. It's not a matter of if trans people have a right to exist.
Absolutely.
It's about whether or not people can oppose, you know, systems that have been in play to oppress people since the establishment of this country and well before.
Absolutely. And if you think that you're so far removed from what's happening to trans people, then you're wrong.
Right.
Okay? Because if they are infringing on our rights to exist, to freedom of expression, what makes you think that, you know, they're not going to come for yours next, right? Because when we allow the government or the state to dictate what we should do with our bodies, then that is when the real issue comes about.
Right.
There's also this is a moment for to build coalitions, to foster solidarity with other groups, because at the end of the day, we just care about the same things that you know that you care about. We want to have housing.
Right.
We want to have a job, and we want to have access to education, to live our lives fully, and to mind our business. Because
to pop our pussy at the club.
And
walk home safely.
Yeah, because you know what? If you're not checking for me, baby, I'm not checking for you.
Right.
And that's the real thing. I definitely think that we really need to come together, to hold each other's hand, and to really understand that we are in this together.
Absolutely.
And as we look at the 2026 midterms, this is sort of that moment of listen. We need to strategize, we need to organize. And sometimes as trans people, when we're so caught up in surviving, because many of us are still just struggling to survive, we don't we don't have the bandwidth to also think about strategy and how to form connections with other people that can also propel us forward. But that definitely needs to happen, and we need allyship at this time from cis and straight people. If you have a trans sibling, if you have a trans friend or trans neighbor, this is that moment of us depending on you to say something and to do something.
Well, and just all of us kind of coming together. So I recently made like a video talking about, I don't know if you guys have seen Finding Nemo. Have you seen Finding
Love
Nemo?
it.
Okay. So recently I made a video talking about like, the scene towards the end where Dory gets like scooped up with like all those fish or whatever, and all of them are like getting scooped up and they're about to like die. And all of the fish are like oriented in like different directions, and they're all just kind of like floundering because everybody's not like working together. So eventually they figure out that they need to like swim down. And so everybody, in order for that to happen, everybody has to be oriented in the same direction, aka down. And I feel like we're in this moment where it's just like, okay guys, we just need to swim down. Like, we can't be, not to say like we can't be worried about all of these issues that are happening at once, but the largest and most pressing issue right now is to not live in a fucking dictatorship. This administration is doing everything in their power to like reach for all the power at once, and is bombarding like Americans with all of these like awful headlines we don't even know what to do. But if we can all work together and agree on the fact that we do not want to live in a world where there's like no freedom of expression, that we can go from there. So with that being said, of how like, what is a way that we can like view activism, and how can we become activists in order to orient ourselves in the same direction? Because I feel like there's also a stigma behind the word activism, or there's like a weight to it.
Absolutely. There's like a sense of responsibility that, many people didn't seek it out. But, the reality is, and I learned this very early on, that us as trans people, we're inherently politicized.
Yeah.
Our bodies are politicized. Our existence is politicized. And I sort of like, I first thought about this because of my immigrant status. Just the fact that my existence in this country has always been politicized. It's always sort of been part of an agenda. And I feel like as trans people, we are politicized. Our existence is politicized, and many of us do not want the responsibility to, want to be an activist. And sometimes when they want, let's turn to a trans person. What do you think?
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, well, I'm just existing. I'm just being me. So what I would always say is that you as a trans person, invest in yourself. There are many things right now that we cannot control. But the only thing that we can control is how we feel about ourselves and how we take care of ourselves, of our mind, of our body, of our emotions.
Absolutely.
And yourself and your mind and your body is the biggest asset that you have in resistance and in nurturing your resilience, and leaning into that. Right? We are multifaceted people. We have hobbies, we have interests, we have families, we have an education, we have friends. We are just human beings. We're people. And I think that whatever's happening right now should not really impose anything on you in which it makes you feel like you don't belong, that you don't fit in, that you don't have a right to exist. But when we allow ourselves to live full lives in whatever capacity we're able to, that is when we unleash our full potential. That is when we tap into our self-empowerment, into building confidence for ourselves, and living our lives on our own terms, because we never want other people to define our lives for us. We do that for ourselves. And that's essentially what this whole thing is. They're trying to make us feel ashamed of being trans. I am not ashamed of being trans. Every day I wake up and I'm like, thank you. Thank you to the universe.
Thank God I'm a transsexual.
No, please, thank you.
Thank you. No, I mean, it feels like harder now sometimes with like all of the headlines, but I totally agree with what you're saying. Just like your mental health is like of the utmost importance
Yeah.
right now. And I know that it's like, and I do this too, where I'm just like, okay, I'm like refreshing my Instagram page or like watching YouTube video after YouTube video, deep dive after deep dive with politics. Like, honestly, you do have to get out of the echo chamber sometimes. And I think right now, especially, like, if we're all running around like chickens with our head cut off screaming, like, that's not to say there's not reason for concern right now. I think we're all well aware of that. But take a break from your phone and learn to find joy and to regulate your nervous system. And I am going to plug myself here real quick. But I do have an ebook called The Baddie Baseline. So if you're somebody who struggles with the dysregulated nervous system, aka you're either very anxious all the time or you're super depressed and you can't seem to like find like that in between, you're supposed to feel like at peace with yourself, you can definitely research nervous system regulation on your own online and figure out what coping mechanisms work for you. But if you don't want to do all of that back work and just want an ebook on mental health written by a trans woman for trans women, then that will be linked below as well. But all of this to say is like, whatever you can do in order to give yourself the mental fortitude to move through this time is the best investment that you can make. So like you said, investing in your hobbies, you know, educating yourself, and, you know, with you and your background in like politics and how you learned about politics so you could like defend yourself, essentially.
Prepare myself. Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Educate yourself on, you know, the history of our community, history of activists. And I think that putting that education and that love into yourself and practicing every day, moving through the world and not letting yourself, you know, be shrunken up, but just practicing is going to do a lot for you. And that, like, even though it's hard right now, life is still worth living, baby.
Life is still worth living, okay? It is worth serving. It is worth turning a look.
Absolutely.
Going out with your friends. You know, watching a movie.
Yes.
There's just so much
Going
beauty.
on dates, doing whatever, fucking around.
Absolutely. There's just so much beauty in life, and as much as I want us to believe that living a trans life is not worth it or it's worthless, no, we definitely don't want to cave into that and to give into that. Living a trans life is actually incredibly beautiful and incredibly special. As I was saying, I am grateful to be trans. I am grateful to have been granted the ability of transcendence, right? Because if you actually think about it, I have lived 2 lives in this one lifetime,
right?
And I am grateful for that, for the transformation, for the changes, for you know, just the way that I've become myself, and every single day is sort of like a challenge and an effort to reach my full potential, and but to do it for me, right? Because when I'm on my deathbed, many years from now, I want to be content and happy and fulfilled that I know that I lived the best life that I could have lived, right? And to not have no regrets, and to know that I lived in my beauty and my joy as a trans person, and that is definitely what keeps me alive and what keeps the joy going.
Well, otherwise it's like, what's the point? Like,
Absolutely.
Why did we do all of this? Because like deep down we knew that whatever was on the other side of the adversity that we would go through and the challenges that we would face, we knew that there would be like a sense of like completion and alignment that would bring us way more happiness than living as something else that we were never intended to be / ever like really were. Like you jumped
Yeah.
because you knew something would catch you. And it's you, baby.
Absolutely.
And it's you, and it's us, and it's the community.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I also think that all the transphobia that's out right now, I think that transphobia, queerphobia, all of that, it's a manifestation of people hating themselves.
Oh, 100%.
Because when you hate yourself, you want to get into other people's business. You want to bug another person's life
Right.
that is just living their life, that is, relishing in their joy. And, that's why there is beauty in transition.
Right.
There is beauty in realizing yourself as a trans person, because you know that you are the only thing that you have.
Right.
And that's worthy, and that's important, and it's special. And you should always think about that you are happy, that you're content with the person that you're becoming. And that transphobe that is just, in your comments, or trying to say awful things as you're walking down the street, or all the electeds that are, spouting really awful and violent rhetoric about trans people, they definitely don't have that beauty in their lives.
Oh,
because if they did, they would not be doing the things that they are doing.
Right, and Nancy Mace's nose contour wouldn't look like shit.
Okay, absolutely. Here we are.
And also to say is that these bullies, like, they thrive off of reactions. Like, people thrive off of, like, negative reactions. So if you can just, like, ignore them, I know it's hard to, but, like, don't argue with people in your comment section.
Absolutely.
Don't give transphobes the time of day. Like, just keep it pushing. It's hard not to take it personally. Like, people comment pretty nasty things on my Instagram sometimes. I still be getting booty hurt, but also I'm just like, I can't take you seriously because you're a wounded person.
Yeah.
Because somebody who is secure in themselves is not going to be bothered by me doing whatever the fuck. Like, that's somebody who has to put other people's down so they can feel like they're on a pedestal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, I'm sorry, but, like, a bad bitch has never hated on a tranny.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Never.
Like, a real bad bitch don't hate transsexuals.
You're trying to put me down to uplift yourself? No, baby. It's not gonna happen.
Absolutely
and
not.
You're right. People like Nancy Mace, they're just trying to get out a reaction out of us. So when people like Nancy Mace say tranny, and they think that we're just gonna be like,
no, literally,
girl,
like, girl.
Tranny. Well, I don't care.
Literally.
So yeah, and that's sort of the thing that
that's the only thing that's, like, makes her popular, by the way.
That makes her popular.
Like, Nancy Mace is seriously so fucking uncool.
So uncool.
She is so uncool. She is such a fucking pick-me bitch. And the only reason why she has so
with
many
her
followers,
Republican makeup.
Yeah, with her Republican ass makeup is because she's saying the fucking T slur.
Of course.
And that's, like, literally her pinned like, Instagrams or whatever, pinned reels are, like, her just, like, being rampantly transphobic. So,
and her gender affirmed top surgery because she got boobs. Okay.
So, she should get a BBL too because she's shaped like the letter P.
But yeah, like, I'm not bothered. Like, I also, a long time ago, I stopped allowing these, like, insults to really get to me, because you're lending power to those people.
Right.
When they see a reaction out of you, when they think that they can hurt you with words, then that is how you know that they are winning. And
especially if you're, like, somebody who's, like, doing your own thing and really just, like, fucking going for it, especially from a fucking loser, they're trying to, like somebody who is, like, trying to bring you up on, like, that level. It's like you're in a Lamborghini, living your life, and this ratty ass Honda Civic comes up to you and it's, like, revving its engine, being like, you want to race? And then if you race them, you're, like, telling them
that the Honda Civic is better.
Or we're, like, at the same fucking level, but you are a Lamborghini. All these people are revving their fucking engines. They're jealous because they have something that they cannot even comprehend.
They cannot comprehend.
Or they don't want to, because it means that everything that they know is false.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, ignore the haters. Like, turn inwards, as in focusing on your mental health, and turn outwards towards community with internet. Like, especially with, like, social media. Like, I've talked about it before. Posting about your experiences online, you're gonna get shitted on, but you're mostly gonna get positive and supportive people. So if I can encourage you to do that. And then also just you know, they're bombarding us right now. They're trying to scare us. They want us to be scared and they want us to not do anything. But yeah, like we still have time to turn this ship around. I think that it's gonna take like a lot of us to be in unison. Again, all swimming down, but right now we need to focus on like making sure that Democratic seats are secured in the midterm elections, and I think that is our best shot at saving this democracy. Me personally, right now, that's kind of what I'm waiting to see, and then reevaluating as time goes on. But I think 2020, the midterm elections, and how that plays out is really going to set the tone for how the rest of it should go.
Right,
But
absolutely. And there are just so many things on the line right now. And what I will say is that if there's anything that we have learned from history is that this has happened before. You know, the Nazis, when they were taking over Germany, this is sort of like the same playbook, right? Coming after queer and trans people, coming after anybody that did not conform to gender expectations.
Illegal immigrants.
Right, illegal
literally.
immigrants, right, people that were disabled.
Old people.
Absolutely.
They were trying to get old people too.
Like, what? They're living their lives. Leave them alone. But anyway, if there's any comfort or any logic in what we're experiencing, is that this is part of a political playbook. This is sort of this is a political strategy that they resort to when they literally have nothing else to cling to, right? Because why isn't that the GOP? Why are they not talking about a plan for inflation,
right?
A plan to invest in our education, in our infrastructure, right? In fighting climate change. Why is it that it's all about trans people?
Well, because they're literally like putting money into like tech billionaires' pockets.
Yes,
and are like letting the AI industry kind of like
run rampant without any regulations. Right.
And
they're also defunding like Medicare.
Right.
And these are the things that actually people should be paying attention to. Not what bathroom we use.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to pee.
But anybody who's watching that, we probably like, we all fucking know that. But so all that to say is like the intersectionality of transness is so vast. So issues that, you know, like we're being hit at multiple different angles. And I know you talking about, you know, being an immigrant, and all of that, like to be dealing with the trans angle one way, and then immigration and just, you know, being profiled or whatever from another angle. It's a lot. But you know, all of these attacks, if we can remind cis people that attacks on trans people is an attack on everybody's First Amendment right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and everybody should be very concerned. And a lot of people are waking up right now. So it's not over. They want you to think it's over. It's not over.
It's not over, baby.
It's
far from over.
It's far from over,
okay?
Baby. And also, bad guys always lose.
Always.
They always lose.
And right now, it might seem like, you know, things are going to shit, but listen, things will play out differently. It's just a matter of staying resilient, of staying hopeful, and, you know, just finding ways to stay connected, to feel your joy, to stay connected with other trans people. You know, when we network and when we build coalitions and when we invest in solidarity with other people, that is sort of like how we build strength in numbers.
Right.
And when we do that, we are able to come out of this. And when we look back and say, you know what, 10 years ago, it was a crazy time to be trans, you know, but we did it and we came out of it, and it was scary at times. But you know what? We're glad that we didn't give in, that we didn't give up, and that we found a way to stick together and to fight together. And look at us now, you know?
Exactly. So. And we have, again, the power of our ancestors behind us. And really, yes, like focus on your mental health. Do whatever you need to do to feel safe right now as well. I'm also not going to deny the reality. Hey, if you don't feel too good staying in the U.S. or staying in the current state that you're in, like get your paperwork together, figure out a plan. I think everybody should have a backup plan right now. But like rely on your sisters, because we're always talking to each other about all of that.
Right. Do whatever gives you peace of mind. If you haven't changed your passport do that now. If you have access to, if you live in a state that allows you to change your name and your gender, find resources to do that right now. Reach out to your nearest LGBT center to ask if they have any resources. Reach out to any trans people that you know online to see if they have any resources as to how to get support on changing your name and your gender, on how to get all your documents in order, for you to have peace of mind, for you to know that, whatever happens, I am prepared, I am ready. I know where to go. I know who to reach out to. I have a safety net, a community of people that are willing to help me. Because right now, something also that I love about San Francisco is that there's so much advocacy and organizing happening right now, in which we're thinking of ways in which how can we welcome other trans people that are fleeing Texas or other another
Florida.
state, right? Florida, okay. And how can we help them, right? How can we help them find housing? How can we help them find stability, safety, community? And I just find that to be so beautiful,
right.
to know that there is other trans people in other parts of the country that you may not know, that you may not see, but that are still fighting for you. And they want you to believe that you're alone and that you have no one to support you and that nobody cares about you. But in reality, there are so many people that care about you, that love you, and that are just doing things every single day to ensure that the future is better for you.
Absolutely.
So
I think that's a great place to leave off on our episode. Let us know what you think in the comments, what you think of Jupiter. I will link her. Is it okay if I link your social?
Period.
Below?
Yes, please.
I will link Jupiter's social so you can follow her. Also, just so you know, I do have that free Diva Daily Goal system for you guys. And again, if you are struggling with your mental health right now, and if you want an ebook written by a trans woman for trans women about mental health, that'll be linked below as well. Until next time, XOXO.
Mwah.
Bye.